All right, y'all, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Ridgemont4'sFinest-The Podcast. We got, hell, I need to put you on payroll now. We got our resident guest, Miss Michelle Williams here. Y'all know Miss Michelle Williams. She has been in the news every week. They're making you famous. I ain't gonna lie. They are making you famous. But we want to just talk about what's going on with you now, because the last time we spoke to you, you were on home duty, home jail, teacher jail, for bucking the system, calling the system out. So as of Thursday, can you update us and tell us what's going on?
So I found out October the 6th because in my previous hearing, they identified me as a public figure, or as HISD would say, a person of public interest, which is the same thing.
Fancy.
And they had to specifically say my name. And in HISD, they don't normally do that because they argue, oh, we have too many teachers. Well, my thing is, if you're terminating that many teachers, then there's a problem with this.
And you're talking about as far as on the board, on the agenda, when they
Yes.
list all the business that they have for the meeting. If they say something about personnel, they'll usually list a real broad something that says
About
personnel
teacher
issues or
contracts.
contract. But they listed specifically your hearing, your name, your hearing, because you are a public figure.
Yes. And that's, my attorney had that done when they tried to non-renew me the first time. So that's what the media frenzy was about. There was a heightened media frenzy because my name was listed ahead of the board meeting. And I'm pretty sure they're not happy with my attorney. And I told her that. I said, they're mad at you
for doing that.
Like me. I said, yes, because you have my name listed there. So they voted to terminate my contract, which, I mean, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised the other time. And, a lot of people's like, I'm sorry this happened to you. Sometimes things are necessary. I have actually accepted the fact that this is the role that I have to play. I'm equipped for it. I've always been fighting. And I never could understand, but now I understand, because everything that I've always fought, flexing, basically exercising that fighting muscle, is second nature now.
Yeah.
And understanding policy, advocacy work, it all played into what's taking place right now. So they voted to terminate my contract, and we'll go through the Chapter 21 process again.
So explain to the people what the Chapter 21 process is. I know we've talked about this several times, but if we have some new people that are just tuning in and they hear the board has voted to terminate your contract, and they instantly kind of freak out like, oh my God, this is the end. Or even if at the end of the school year, their district chooses to non-renew them. What does that mean? And talk about the Chapter 21 process for the people again for like the 10th time.
So Chapter 21 process is a right that term contract teachers have, not probationary contracts. That's what sets us apart, really, in contractual right. Since we're not a collective bargaining state, and we don't have all those other things as far as teacher things go, we have the contract that protects our rights. And so people, and I guess it was the media, the way that they put it out there, more so the Chronicle, said that they terminated me, and they did, but they didn't.
Right.
So most people know that it's a next step. You appeal it, the process to have it overturned when you don't agree. And that's a right that you have as a term contract teacher.
Yeah. So we talked about that on an episode before. We have a whole episode dedicated to the Chapter 21 process for Texas teachers who don't know their rights when they are given a letter of non-renewal, when they are told that they're going to be recommended for termination. They instantly just kind of go in the office and fold, or they're bullied into resigning, and they'll tell them something like, oh, if you don't resign, we're going to list your name publicly on the board agenda. And so a lot of teachers are like, oh my God, I don't want my name to be out there publicly that I'm getting terminated, or they recommended me for termination. And so they'll go ahead and resign. And I always say, when you do that, you cut out the fat meat. You cut out them having to do their job and do their work. So I love that for the second time you are walking through the process, you were going through the process. And I've always said, like, if this were ever to be me, which I think is going to be me at the end of the school year, we're going to do it for the plot. We're going to walk through the process just for the plot, because how can you tell people advocate for yourself and know your rights and that if you don't, exercise the rights that you fought for? Let me go back to something, because you just said something earlier when we talk about joining the union and the importance of joining the union. Now, I joke with you personally all the time and say, I don't know who you with. I mean, I know who you with, but they are fighting like hell for you. So I know they worth the $30 a check, because I know they probably look at you and every complaint and be like, God damn, again? But they are putting in work for you. So shout out to them. But when I make videos talking about unions and Texas teachers joining a union, there are always naysayers in the comment section, like, oh my God, Texas is not Texas is a right to work state, an at will state. There's no collective bargaining here. So teacher unions aren't real. And while, yes, I understand there's no collective bargaining, or we don't have certain rights as other states do when it comes to striking and collective bargaining and whatnot, that should not deter people from joining an association, because you guys are still advocating for rights. You're still advocating for certain laws and legislature. So let's talk about that, like the importance of joining a union, regardless of if we're a union state or not.
So I want to give, especially people who share my pigmentation, and the ones that may be a little bit lighter than me, black and brown teachers.
Mm-hmm.
We were the union, black teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And NEA, which is our national organization, we're actually a union that was formed by merging with the only Black teachers union. Because you have to remember, and this is your history lesson, ATA was a Black teachers union that merged with, I think it was NTA, NEA's name before the merger. So they merged, and we are the largest teachers union in the nation. AFT is not really a teachers union. If you look up their history is they started with railroad men only. They wouldn't even allow women at first. They had a lady that was a teacher that came on that represented them, but they had male presidents for a while. So NEA is for educational personnel, and union work is important work, especially for minority educators. And I'm going to tell you, there's no perfect organization, because you're dealing with imperfect people, myself included. So every organization has its issues, but just like democracy doesn't work unless you work. The union doesn't work unless you work. Yeah. So if you're sitting back saying, well, they didn't do this for me, are you involved in your union? Because the definition of union is collective. It's not me, it's not I, it's not you. It's a collective voice pushing back on whatever is not right or illegal, unethical. That's one of the things with me. What TSTA and NEA get to do with me, they get to flex their legal muscle. And collective bargaining, that's great. But when you have a legal team behind you who can hit a home run, like the Ortiz law firm that I have behind me, 40 plus years of experience, plus they dealt with, as Ridgemont would say, Machete Mike Miles, in Dallas. They are a hard-working team of professionals. And NEA doesn't have two lawyers. They have a network of lawyers which they have the NEA fund. But in order for them to flex their muscle, they have to have members.
Yeah.
And we have to buy into it. And I guess this is a great opportunity because the Republicans have put out their version of a union to actually combat
Yes.
or push back on us. And if you are, I ain't gonna say stupid, I'm gonna say unwise enough to
Uneducated,
join that
uninformed.
foolishness, then shame on you. Because
Ooh.
how are you gonna put your career in the hands of the fox that's guarding the hen house?
Whew, we gonna have to do that a whole nother breakdown episode about that new organization that's coming up, because that has definitely been wild. So let's talk about, you did a speech at the board meeting on Thursday, which was fire. I'm gonna link it here also so people can go back and watch it. But to recap, you said, hey, this is about intimidation, retaliation, and bullying. You have said from get-go, you and Mike Miles have been butting heads since the word go. And you have said that this has been about retaliation. And it's been so crazy to see how public his retaliation has been. And it's almost like, are you unwell? Like, this is, I'm not a lawyer, okay? But this seems like a win-win, because the open retaliation is so obvious what they're doing. So talk to us about that. How is he trying to make an example out of you?
So when it's just like the state of Texas, they went after the largest school district, and he figures if he can take me out, then he can take all the teachers out. But the day that they voted on it, my message is to the teachers: don't worry about me, because they're gonna shoot at me.
Yeah.
Because I'm out in the front. It's just like war. I'm gonna get shot at.
You on the
But
front
you
line.
best believe I'm shooting back. So that's my thing with them. And they tried to intimidate me. Lord have mercy. They brought me, my principal lied and brought me into a meeting with 3 men on one woman. And they thought they were going to make me say I'm going to do these unethical things to those children. Y'all read the article. You read the article, and she was spot on with her details of what happened. It was the clearest thing that I've seen out there based on what I was interviewed on. They were trying to make me break special education laws. I had a student who had a physical disability in my class, and they did not care. Wow. They do not care. And I just wasn't doing that. They tried to intimidate me and make up lies. Like when the lady called and said, "Oh, you didn't. We've been looking for you." So I was like, I told that lady, I said, I knew y'all was going to do this. I did. I said I had a feeling. I said, but that's fine. I'll deal with it. But, they do stupid stuff, because you're going to make up a story the day before you got the email from TA about my special education.
Your grievance or your complaint that you filed against them. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And let's go back and recap that for people that did not follow the last episode. So to sum it up, you had a classroom they gave you a new class of 3rd graders. Yes. And they are I hate to say this, but they've given you the lowest performing babies, right? And you have a ton of special education students and a ton of emergent bilingual students. So your babies are barely speaking English, but are being made to test in reading and test in English. And you are like, hey, I want to go back and kind of teach my kids some basics, because they can have these skills coming to me. And you following the Texas Education Code, or our code of conduct and our code of ethics as educators, you're doing what you're supposed to do. But because of the whole, I hate this, pacing for pizza and pacing, and this new HISD scripted curriculum, all of the foolishness that goes with that, you are getting hit because you refuse to slow down and rush your babies through things, because you want to teach your babies, but they want to test your babies. And you put that.
And even HISD is in violation. So For elementary, I don't know if people remember, House Bill 3 ushered in a lot of finance, but it also ushered in House Bill 3 Reading Academy.
Yeah.
So I'm third grade. That applies. And science of reading is something that they forced, House Bill 3 forced the school districts to
Yep.
purchase a phonics program. That wasn't what I was supposed to be teaching. Now, I wasn't making a big fuss of it at first, but when I realized the kids were failing, that's when, and then I got the redundant response from the assistant principal saying that there's not any time to teach them how to read. So that's when I start, I ain't supposed to be teaching this anyway. I'm supposed to,
Right.
I sent them an email and I said, I'm going to teach phonics and phonemic awareness.
Yeah.
And I made sure that they knew about it, because what you can bank on is principals don't know policy. All they know is how to bootlick
And crack the whip.
and that's it. They don't know nothing. They think the district is going to protect them. They don't. The district doesn't protect them from anybody from anything. The district will protect itself.
Yeah. We've seen, since I started covering HISD and the takeover, what was this? Are we in year 3? Is this year 3? Sheesh. Since I started covering it right before, it was about to happen, and all of the many complaints I've gotten on all of the many administrators and district admin and district execs, it has been so, this is dead wrong for me to say this, it has been so satisfying seeing a lot of those big domino or those big chess pieces fall and tumble. And what I will say, and I always joke about you and talk about how you've been mentoring me off behind the scenes, but your documentation is so immaculate. When you present yourself and when you present your grievances, because you don't give a damn if you file a grievance in a heartbeat. And we'll talk on a Tuesday and you'll text me Tuesday night, file. I'm like, shit, you don't play. But so immaculate how all of those people, a lot of those people that came for you have gone on to elsewhere. And I say elsewhere, if you're a middle school teacher and you've ever read The Giver, the story The Giver, it's about this dystopian community that appears as a utopia. And they always say he went elsewhere. And so people say, what is elsewhere? Baby, gone to hell. Dead. Done. Okay. So anytime y'all hear me say elsewhere, they go on to career heaven or career glory, whatever you want to call it. And so we've talked about a couple of people. I know in the last episode, we mentioned the HR chief executive officer, Miss Jessica Naiman. And the day after we posted this on YouTube, she reached out to me like, hey, hold on, what's going on here? And I'm like, well, hey, you can always come on and tell your side. So I definitely don't want to, throw any slugs or shots at Jessica Naiman, because I really do believe that she is very vital to a lot of the that's going on. And she may not be negatively involved, but she's involved and she has a lot of information. So I do have a feeling that her name is going to be called for a lot of things with a lot of teachers coming up soon. Let's talk about how the Miles model, that's what I'm going to start calling it, the Miles model, how that has impacted teaching and how that has created a negative morale in HISD lately.
So I'm going to preface this part of the conversation with, we have a retired nurse. She says that Miles is a legend in his own mind. And, and when she says that, I always think about John Wayne and the Wild West. So he wants validation. That's why he put out that haters gonna hate. So he wants to take
so pause, because Mike Miles, that was the corniest. Corniest. I said, who is on his media team? Who's doing this? This was so corny and unprofessional of him to put that statement out. Like, you're using.
I was like, what are we in 8th grade?
What is it?
Like
the 90s?
Anyway, and that's where it came from.
Yes.
Like, I haven't heard that since I was in high school.
Crazy. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So he has this NES model, and he's, first of all, is not supposed to be in the school that I was in. So now they're lying about it and calling a team center these accelerated centers. So they want us to teach for 45 minutes. For high level kids, it works.
Right.
Because they're gonna move. You could flip your classroom, have them do the lecture, school, come in, do their little 45, boom, 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 they're done. For the ones that are really supposed to be in there, not the people who want the kids in there and they're not supposed to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
Or the real kids that can move at that pace. Well, 15 minutes model, 15 minutes the kids practice, 15 minutes independent practice. Then you want to give them an exit ticket, and then you expect the kids to pass. There's adults that don't move that fast.
No, not at all.
And especially if you have kids that are special education, kids that are emerging bilingual. Well, that's the model. And I was like, whatever. Because for emerging bilingual, which everybody knows that HISD has a large emerging bilingual population. For those that don't know what emerging bilingual, it means English language learners. And not only do we have Spanish English language learners, we have a large Asian population. And now, since the federal government resettled a lot of the people from Ukraine and stuff, the West Side has a large other population.
Yes.
So we're not just talking about Spanish speakers anymore. We're talking about a lot of kids who need support with language acquisition. Well, he doesn't want to do that. He said that's the status quo. Dude, that's research. Because what we do know, and you don't have to have an education degree to understand that if you can't read your own language, how you gonna read somebody else's?
Now,
that's as basic as I can get.
And you're putting the pressure of a high stakes test on these babies. We talk about this often. We'll get kids who literally would just come into the country with their families the day before, and they'll throw them into an advanced English class. And we're like, what the hell is going on here? And you don't give us any resources, any translation resources, nothing. And I know I've been in a district before, and if a parent denies their child going to a school that has an ELL program or an emerging bilingual program because they don't want to go to that school because of the area or because of the distance or whatnot, they'll say, oh, well, you denied services, so now you have to get what you get, and we don't have to provide any resources for your child. And so it takes a teacher to say, you know what, hell no, I'm not going to do this to a child. This is not this child's fault. And I'm going to translate all of the assignments. I'm going to try to pair them with the baby that speaks their language just to try to support them, because what happens to the self-esteem and the self-efficacy of a kiddo when you do something like that to them? And the fact that they are not trying to be empathetic to that at all is crazy to me. I want to share something that I got from I made a video about you this morning on TikTok, and somebody immediately messaged me. I'm looking at my phone. People are like, what the hell is she doing? But they said, I think we had a PD on the 5th. I want to say they said it was the 5th of October. And they said, this is what Miss Michelle Williams is talking about. So the PD, they took a picture of the screen and it says, accelerate, don't remediate. That's the title of the slide. And it says what you need to do. It has a do and a don't. The do is in green. The don't is in red. The do, acceleration. Connect unfinished learning into the context of new grade level learning with just-in-time supports. Don't remediate. Don't spend significant time on low grade level content before moving to new learning. What? They're telling you not to spend time on concepts that these babies don't know, to go ahead and move on to the next thing. How in the hell do I move on to the next thing if I don't understand this? How do I move on to division if my kids don't even understand multiplication?
Yeah, and that's so on my YouTube channel, I did a video on learning acceleration. That's them brainiacs. That's sarcastic.
Research, yeah.
That came out after COVID said, no, we don't have to do intervention. That's an intervention lie, because those kids, first of all, every kid is different. And what we know, research supports small group instruction.
Yes.
And that does close gaps. I've been using it for years. I used it last year. That's why Sandy Massey said I'm a high performing teacher, because I took over a class from a first-year teacher
Mhm.
and hit all their metrics
Oh, Sandy
my
Master.
way. Yes.
Hey, girl.
So, but that's that foolishness that
Mhm.
comes out, and it doesn't work. It may work for children who do not, they said unfinished learning.
Mm.
Unfinished learning versus I never learned it
I never
are two
learned it. Yes.
totally different things.
Yes.
And a lot of children have not learned it. And it doesn't work for emerging bilingual students because their issue may not be because they haven't, they don't know it in English.
Mhm.
Like some of my
Mhm.
students, even in third grade, I had an intermediate class last year and an advanced high class. So my intermediate class, I had to teach them how to skip count in English. There's no 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and cardinal numbers, first, second, third. I had to teach that. Those kids hadn't had English, math, so they don't know it.
Right.
They were writing the date in Spanish.
Spanish.
No,
Mhm.
we put our month first, and those are things that you have to teach them.
Yeah.
But they don't allow you to do that. And that's why the stuff that they're proposing does not work for special population children.
Yeah. And even you brought something up that just made me think about it. How some of these babies that come to us from different countries and different parts of the state even, and English is not their first language, how we automatically, the school system label them as special ed or label them as, deficient. And it's like they're brilliant where they came from. We're the dummies, we're the slow ones. There's
Yep.
nothing wrong with us, but we make them feel like they're less than academically. And that breaks my heart. So I appreciate you fighting for those babies. And I wish parents understood when they come and get on social media and they get the yapping and bumping their gums, like there are teachers like you and others that are really on the front lines fighting for their child's educational rights. And somebody in the comment section, it was so funny because I saw you lit them up before I even got to it. But they said, I think it was like the Houston Press maybe posted a story about you. And somebody in the comment section was like, oh well, a rule's a rule. And you're like, well, effing duh. That's why I'm here. Because you're right, a rule is a rule. And I'm following the rules that were laid out for us by the state of Texas, and I'm being punished for following these rules. So y'all can't pick and choose when y'all want people um to follow rules when it benefits you. So if you tell me, hey, if I sign my teacher certification and it says that, hey, I'm upholding this rule, this ethic, this moral, this value, and then you turn around and punish me for doing exactly what the hell you said I had to promise to do, what are we doing?
But people don't understand. You can't plead ignorance of the law.
Mm.
So it's a catch-22 situation. I know they don't like me. So say for instance, I'm the compliant teacher. They can still jam me up.
Yes.
They can still come back and say, you didn't follow this. They can still say that. I said, people don't even understand that. It's a double-edged sword. I follow the law. The law states that I'm supposed to be teaching phonemic awareness, phonics, and foundational reading and science of reading. The district was supposed to purchase a phonics program. They did not. So I taught it on my own because I taught it before I taught reading, and that's why my principal put me in there. I pulled my night house stuff. I pulled yes, I pulled it all. And I was teaching my kids how to read the stuff that I was supposed to do. I didn't break any laws. The district was at fault.
Right.
What's the point? So I had a student in my class that I retained last year. So that student could get the services. That's really what got me going, because I was like, why did we do all this work for this student to be in a class where he's in the same position? And I was like, I'm not going to allow this to happen. And that's what really got me going, because that student was a different student that year, ready to learn. And no, you're not going to flush these kids' lives down the tube before they even get started. What teachers don't understand, They're using you all to derail these children before they get started. And they're going to do it to yours too, with your selfish self. Oh, I got bills to pay. But it ain't going to be funny when your kid, they going to have you so tired, you're not going to even be able to teach your kid. That ain't going to be me, because guess what? I'm going to teach my grandson. Yeah. Because I'm going to have the time, because I'm not going to be complicit in this system that is using our talents to derail children. Not doing it.
Yes. You said I saw a quote in the article that you said that they are, or Mike Miles is trying to make employees. He's training, breeding employees, not scholars, not students, not future professors, future worker bees.
That is what they're doing. So, and I'm going to use Rick Campo, chair of the Port of Houston, because I'm the chair. And thank you for reelecting me. That's what he said at City Hall. So this is public record. So he said, we need employees. So they don't care. They want the kids to be educated just enough so that they can read an operations manual and put them on the path to a dead-end job where there's no room for advancement. They're trying to kill the unions. You see that $20 raise they got down there at the Hilton Hotel? That's union. Yeah. And my thing is, they're going up against these unions because they don't want to pay these employees. Yeah. So that's what they're doing to these children. But it's not going to be done I'm not finna do it. You want it done? Do it with one of y'all complicit teachers.
What was it called? I cannot think of it off the top of my head right now. When Mike Miles first started, he was starting with the group of kindergartners. And he wanted them to basically be like the experiment. It was a name that they had given that group of kids.
I don't know. He done changed it so much.
2030, 2035. Whatever the year was, it was a graduation year. But it was starting when he came in that year, 3 years ago, that group of kindergartners. So he wanted to basically track them from kindergarten until their senior year, their graduation, to show how great his program was. And a lot of people were saying, even when I had to sit down with Miss Jackie Anderson, the president of AFT, she was like, yeah, that's the group of kids he wants to experiment with, because that's the group he gonna turn into the workers. Those the people that he gonna use to be the hotel workers that's gonna clean the linen and sweep the floors and clean your buildings at night. Nobody is
because they don't care about each individual's child's potential. And that's my problem with it. You don't get to make decisions for my students. You don't get to make decisions for me. Nobody put me on the path to a dead-end job. I made that choice, and they're taking the choices away from our children. Yeah. And they're using teachers to do it. That's what I really want teachers to understand that. And I don't understand how they don't get it with their own children. Your children is a part of a system that they're not going to be educated to their fullest capability. And I'm telling you, you're not going to do it because you're too busy doing the bidding of the school district. Yeah. And you're going to be too tired to teach your own kids, and they're going to go into the system just like everybody else.
Because hell, we the workers right now. And exactly. You think about, me, I have a kiddo that just went to college this year, and shit, I feel like I'm helping him more with his work now than I did when he was in school. And he even texted me the other day. He was in English class, and he says, Mom, can I curse? I said, what's up? He said, I ain't learned shit in high school. And I said, I know you didn't. I know you didn't. I know it, right? But I'm not supposed to publicly say that. Okay, just know that. I'm not supposed to talk about
that. My son said the same thing.
Yeah, but he said he really didn't. And when I go back and look at the kids' grades, not just mine, but even some of my former students, I'm like, wow, you have a 97 in statistics. You have a 98 in advanced English. And I know, I'm doing well. I know. But then you get to college and it's a culture shock. I know the other day, I log in and look at work through college. I don't care. People say, oh, let the kids grow up. That's my money. I'm logging in and I'm seeing what's going on. Okay. So I looked and I'm looking at this homework, and it was a worksheet. It was in English class. It was a worksheet talking about comma splices and combining sentences. And I said, this some shit I give my damn 7th graders, right? And so when I was looking at it, I wanted to fuss, but I said, you know what? I have to go back and understand this professor. This professor is probably saying, let me give y'all some remediation, because I'm seeing y'all turn in papers to me as college freshmen that are full of comma splices that y'all have no idea how to combine sentences. And so let's do some practice. So she's doing the very thing that we're talking about us needing to be able to do. Let me take you back a couple of steps because you missed something and bring it back so that you can produce better work for me here. So I appreciate that, because as an English teacher, I can also understand reading papers and getting stuff. And it's like, why are y'all capital I's lowercase? Why are y'all not capitalizing the, where's the punctuation? How the hell did you write 4 pages and ain't a lick of punctuation in this paper, right? And so it goes on to say, hey, we don't have time for grammar. Hey, we don't have time for this. All we need to be doing is teaching reading, how to pass a test, how to answer test questions, how to write constructive responses. And even with the constructive responses, for start, I'm going off on a tangent now. It's grading you for punctuation and mechanics and sentence structure. Do you have a thesis statement? Did you answer the question? Did you provide text evidence? Boom. And so we don't have time to teach those skills. And the people that, like me and the other teachers I know, I want to teach those skills, because I don't want you going to college being a freshman talking about do this worksheet about some damn comma splices. I want you to already come in there knowing how to do that so that you can enhance the writing that I sent you there with. But anyway, that's another topic for another day. I know damn good well a lot of these kids ain't learning shit in these schools. How do I know? Because I look at the kids on TikTok all damn day and I'm like, wait a minute. How y'all making TikToks? How are you flat ironing your hair? Is this an English class? What is going on here? Bring it back. Let's move on. All right. So you are running for state rep. All right. You got a big move coming up. Let's talk about that again, because I want to keep emphasizing your run. So let's talk about your campaign, why you chose to run for state rep, and tell us how we can support that.
So I decided to run for state representative after I was at the House Public Education Committee hearing when they were trying to pass vouchers. I'm going to be honest with you, just like you don't know who your state rep is, I didn't know who mine was. So I said one day, I was like, let me see who's, no, I had a mailer that, you know how you get those mailers and you just throw it. And I was like, this man is my state rep. So I sent him an email to see if he was going to, never got a response for him.
Wow.
That was the first little blip in his. I was like, yeah, okay. So I said, when I go to Austin, because we do lobby days, and I had gone up there and spoke twice for 2. I stayed up there 2 days when I was on administrative leave the first time. So when I was up there for the voucher vote hearing, and he was saying that, oh yeah, and then mind you, he was asleep. Oh well, they got segregation wrong and integration. The courts got it wrong, and they got that it was about parental choice. What? And I started looking around because it was 3 a.m. and I was like, you like, am I asleep? Because I was tired. I ain't gonna lie. And I was like, did y'all hear? The baby said it.
He said it the right way.
He said it. So I still wasn't sold on it. What really just kind of, because I was like, because people were saying, well, why don't you run for office? I was like, well, why don't y'all run for office? I'm serious. Like, because my life, I have a magnifying glass on me, and I forget, because I'm just like I'm a person.
Regular person, yeah.
I'm not nobody's shero. I try to do what's right. But I have come to realize that I am in the public eye, and people recognize me. And a lady was up there. She was a retired teacher. She was still with NEA. And I started talking to her. I said, did you hear this? I told her what he said. Her name was Dawn Richards. And she's in Brad Buckley's district. He's the chair of the House Public Education Committee. And she said, I ran against him. She said, I lost, but I still won. I said, what? She said people were saying he never does anything, just like Charles Cunningham does nothing. She said, but when I ran against him, he was trying to do all kind of stuff. She said, I'm gonna run against him again. And I was like, I don't want to run for state rep. I said, my life has just changed since this whole HISD thing. She said, Michelle, no, you need to. And I was like, for what? She said, because if we don't challenge them, they will stay complacent. She said, we need to constantly make them uncomfortable.
Yep.
And I thought about it. I said, you know what? I looked the research up. I looked at the numbers to see if it was a winnable district. I talked to our policy person, and I reached out to her and I said, you know what? I'm going to run. And that was the decision I made that day.
Wow. So how can people support you? Talk about your website, campaign, because I saw James Tallarico, shout out to him, post something on Instagram today, and he's like, hey, with just $10 a day or $10 from each one of you, you have the right to help us take democracy back in Texas, and da 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 da. And I had already seen something where dude had raised like some millions quickly. And I said, my God, what if we, and I love James Tallarico, so no shade to that, but what if we supported Black women like that? Like,
Yeah.
What if, your 20,000 something followers gave $5 or $10 for your campaign? What if the teachers that you advocate for on a daily basis, who know you're advocating for them and who don't know you're advocating for them, gave $5, $10 to your campaign to support you doing this on a larger scale? How amazing would that be?
It would be, but here's my thing with teachers. I need for teachers to stop holding the purse strings closed when it comes to worthy causes. Because to be honest with you, our PAC, you know what PAC stands for? PAC, Political Action Committee. The union cannot use membership dues for political support of candidates. I gave $200 just when I was at NEA conference. That was my money because I know that it's important. We have to give money to campaign. And what I'm running is a grassroots organizing campaign. And $5 does go a long way. We have to collectively get behind candidates that are advocates for public education. And teachers have a unique opportunity in me because James Tallarico was a teacher, but he represents something else. I am a classroom teacher, a sitting union president. I represent working people. I represent teachers. I honestly talk to state representatives all the time. I always have been in politics, the educational side. You have a unique opportunity to have your issues, because the same way y'all see me in the press, I'm not scared of them people in Austin. I'm not. They're people just like me and you.
They know it.
I am not afraid of them.
They know it.
You have an opportunity to donate to my campaign, not just once, because the first time is the primary. The second time is going from March to November. My race isn't until November, but we got to get people out to vote. We have an apathetic voter base. And I'm going to be honest with you, y'all got to vote. You got to get out and vote, no matter what the case may be, and be excited about a candidate who's going to bring your best interest. HISD teachers, to be honest with you, you can ask them, do they know who I am? They're going to tell you, oh, we know her. She did this, she did that. That's the same thing I'm going to do in Austin. So if you want to donate and you want to put your money, take that $7, $10 from Starbucks and go to Michelle for State Rep, FOR, not the number 4, or staterep.com, and hit that donation button. And what you can do is become a monthly sustainer. I got a couple of friends, they donate $5, $10 every pay period.
Mhm.
It adds up.
Yeah.
You can give $5, so stop it.
Yeah. So you have been holding it down as the HEA president for how long?
6 years.
6 years. And so this is your final year. Your term is up. It is the end of that. So what is next for the union, for HEA?
So if we don't find a president, HEA will be a defunct union. Somebody's going to have to step up. I have been telling our membership for 2 years. And I even, because I felt like I was going to pivot. Savant Moore, one of our trustees, he told me, he said, the Lord already told me, he said, you're not going to be working for HISD next year. And he told me that last year. I started laughing. He said, no, you're not going to be there. He said, I already know what your future is. So, and here we are. And I guess he's right, because I will not be working for HISD next year. I'm moving on from public education, in a sense, in a classroom. But back to HEA, if one of you all, and I'm looking in this camera, do not step up, you will not have representation for TSTA in HISD. And that's unfortunate, because I rechartered this organization for younger teachers. It wasn't for me, because all I need is some legal, and we can get it popping.
A policy and a computer. Policy and Google. I'm on it. What's up?
Yeah, I got it. So I didn't need anybody to speak for me, but it was important. It was important for the teachers to have another organization. And I think it is important, because just like with the public school got complacent, organizations get very complacent. And competition will make you get after it. So, but yeah, if one of y'all want to be just join and step up and become that leader. Miles is only going to be there one more year, if he makes it there, because I'm trying to get political pressure on him to where he's a political dead weight, so he can go on.
Gone to the next place he gonna ruin next.
Yeah.
And I know we're, of course, on camera, there's so many things that we can't say, and so many things that you can't say while your case is pending, while your appeal is pending. But we have not heard the end of this.
Oh, absolutely. No.
It's just get started. I feel like the good shit is just getting started, right?
It is. It's just getting started. You all need to, like, today I've posted a picture of me smiling, and that's why my slogan is stand up, speak out, and fight together. That's what we have to do. Stand up, speak out, and fight together.
Yeah.
I'm not through fighting. I'm not. Trust and believe, because I was irritated at first. I'm mad now. So you already know.
What's going on? You saying, what the hell you calling me with that phone? You cussed me out. And you was like, the hell you worried about? I was like, it's not fair. You was like, girl, please. Anyway, what you eating for lunch today? I was like, no, wait, we in crisis. And you were just so poised and composed. And I know that it's because you're strategic. I've learned this, learning under you. You are so very strategic. And so we shouldn't get complacent either, because it's not over. It's not.
Oh, no, it's not. And even though I plan on leaving the classroom, because I cannot fight the way this fight needs to be fought from the classroom. I cannot. So this is larger than me. That's why teachers, this is our moment. It really is. I had a lady, and I'm going to share this. I keep telling people, when I had been teaching 6 years. I was trying to quit. And this lady was like, no, God got something big for you in education. And I looked at her. She was like, child, please. I was trying to go back to, because I wanted to be a nurse practitioner. I did. I said, no, I'm trying to find out how I can do these clinicals so I can go on to nursing school. But I didn't quit, and here we are. And here I am in this position. And I never knew that. I did not. But I do know that this is my path in life. And every day it's a struggle for me to accept that, because, like, I'm just a person.
Stephanie
Like,
is the
I'm
head
a
that wears
single
the crown.
mother, a grandmother. Like, I raised my son. I never would have thought that this is the path that I would be taking in life. And I don't take that lightly. That's why I try to do my best with people. I had one of the constituents out here invite me to church. That was the experience today. And I
You
went
in
to
church?
I did. I normally go to Bedside Baptist online, but but I went to church today.
Okay.
But I know that there's a larger purpose and path for my life, and I want teachers to know that I'm here fighting for us and just people to do
Mm-hmm.
right. We have a greedy city of Houston. They are going to kill us all with this flooding. They are. I said, I love science. I teach science. And what I do know is you can't beat Mother Nature, ma'am, sir. You can't.
Yeah. Yeah. So, before we wrap it up, I do want to go back to what you said about, your tenure being over and waiting for the next person to step up. Because again, in your good auntie fashion, you cussed me out the other morning about the same thing. It was about 6:30 a.m. You cussed me out about, stepping up and doing that. So when you talk about chartering and rechartering an organization, I don't think people understand how much work goes into that. And so as I am looking, let me look at the camera, teachers that are or where I am, wink wink, I am in the process of trying to work on that for our area in NEA or with TSTA. And it is a lot of work. So if you are getting ready to take over an HISD or you are interested in taking over an HISD, Michelle has already laid the foundation for you. It's just you picking up the baton and going with it. Versus people who have to start from ground zero
Yeah.
and try to build something, and that has been challenging. But as I got motivated the other morning, uh, and I've been given homework assignment for my fall break, that is what I will be focusing on this fall break. She told me she didn't give a damn about nothing else I had going on, but I needed to get this done. And she's absolutely right, because even if this is, my last year in education or my last 2-3 years in education, I feel like I have to set this work and do it for the next group that's coming up. Because baby, let me tell you something. I'm 20 plus years in. This shit about to get uglier. And I'm like you, I don't think I have it in me. I know I'm going to always be a fighter, but I definitely don't have it in me to fight a system from in the classroom. All right. And then it's especially hard when you're a taxpayer in the community, in the district that you also work in. So something's going to have to take a back seat sooner than later so that you can continue fighting. So shout out to you for that. Please keep us updated. I'm watching, waiting on your chapter 21 shit like it's the next episode of Real Housewives or something. It's going to be very interesting. And I encourage all the teachers, Texas teachers, young, olds, whatnot, veterans, to tune in and watch how this chapter 21 process goes. Again, if you were not along for Miss Michelle's ride the first time, what was that, March 24?
Yep.
March 2024. You were not along for that very interesting ride where they had to reinstate her after an independent hearing officer with TEA came in and basically told Mike Miles HIZ they was full of shit. Here we go again, and we're again hoping and waiting for results the same. I know you want to be out of education, but you do want to be vindicated, and I love that.
I do. I need to clear my name. Like
Yeah,
Tina Turner say, all I want is my name. I want my name.
I
And
love it.
at the end of the day, I did right. And I sleep at night. People are like, are you? No, I'm not, because I did what was right
Mm-hmm.
by children. And shout out to my peeps at Benbrook. They riding with me and I'm riding with them. And we
Love
finna
that.
get it popping. Y'all gonna see some sparks fly. We're about to get, because I am not playing with HISD and these violations. They will not.
Mm-hmm.
They're not gonna rest well with
Yeah,
me out here. Cause baby, while you sleeping, I'm plotting.
you plot, and she be up wee hours of the morning plotting, y'all. So I do love that, and I just want to say for all the other people, that are in Hattie Mae, in them top district positions that have been complicit to bullshit going on with some of these teachers, even the ones that don't know that they have a case. your time coming and your name gonna get called. I need y'all to be on the lookout. Keep your head on the swivel too, and just be mindful of the dirt that you're doing for this man. I have seen, when I tell you, you have to put a post out the other day that said, "Hey, I am being flooded with y'all's grievances and y'all's complaints and y'all's recordings of how these principals are talking to y'all, and I cannot mentally, I can't take anything else, and y'all are not gonna fight." Because a lot of them are still so very scared and intimidated, and I hate that because I'm not a person like that. So I'm like, hey, you flood me with stuff, and then you say, but don't say nothing. I'm like, well, baby, you got to call a therapist because I can't hold everybody's baggage. I got my own battles. I'm finna get ready to fight. I'm trying to fight everybody else's, and so like you said, collectively, people are going to have to start speaking up. I have seen amazing things when a group of people get together and put pressure on a school district. And if everybody is not willing to collectively do that, y'all gonna have to just fight your own battles, because
And
we here for the people that's gonna fight. Because what you say, the cavalry ain't coming to save us.
baby, we are the
We
cavalry.
are the cavalry.
And before we go, our retired teachers, especially you newly retired teachers, I know y'all bitter. I get it. But I need y'all to get back in gear because we don't have another election. This election is it. We need to take back the lower chamber, which is the Texas House, so we can control it just in case we can't get rid of the governor. You all need to get in gear. We need the old ones that been retired, you new ones, get off the couch and find TSTA Retired, the Houston one. You can join. Their membership is slowly etching up. I can put you in contact with the person that's over it. You all need to get out here and fight. We need you. Our children need you. Your grandchildren need you. Since you talking about I don't have no kids, I'm retired. Mine is too. He old. So we need you all. Contact me. You can reach me, Facebook, Instagram, all of them. I am there, and I try to be very, very responsive. If I don't respond, it's because I didn't see. But yeah, we need y'all in this fight. We don't have another election. If you want to block walk, go to michelleforstaterep.com. Even if you can't block walk, you got other ways to give. Time, money, or you can be once we start doing calling, you can do that as well from the comfort of your. We need you all in this fight.
Well, all right, we're gonna keep our fingers crossed for you. Can't wait to see the process go through. I think it's an amazing learning experience for myself and other people who want to get in the fight. Again, if you do not have a charter NEA or TSTA in your school districts, and you are interested in starting a charter in your school district, please reach out to the people at TSTA and tell them, hey, I'm in such and such districts, and I want to get a chapter started here. I know when I did my research, we had 36 out of a school district of so many thousands and thousands of employees. Only 36 people were giving dues to TSTA NEA. And so to take those 36 and try to reach out and say, hey guys, let's kind of start our own thing locally, so we don't always have to, we could just, okay, I'm gonna just say, whew. But it's not going to discourage me. We're going to keep going and just encourage other people, if you are like-minded, to do the same thing. Because like I said, once I saw how they were going to bat for you, that damn legal team, shout that legal team out again, please.
The Ortiz Law Firm.
Man, shout out. They working overtime for you. Once I saw how they were representing you, I dropped my membership with somebody else, and I got on, because I said, I need this. This is the kind of energy I need. So, again, praying everything goes well for you. Thank you for joining us again, and hope you'll come back to update us after we go through that hearing.
Yep, I'll be there. And if you are on home duty, my hearing will be live. You can join.
Wow, that's more tea. All right, we'll talk about that then too. All right, we'll see y'all next time. Bye.